What's going on, guys? In today's video we're going to be talking about my top 5 favorite knives from my personal collection. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Just setting some rules here. Of course they have to be from my personal collection, and then I'm just going to be listing them off in no real particular order. So let's start off with this knife here. This is a Tiger USA spring assisted knife. So we'll give you this up close look here. There's that side. Flip it over. And yeah. So I actually do not know like the brand name. It's not anywhere on the blade, and I just bought this at a gun show. But this is a very, very nice blade, and I should be getting a review out sometime soon. So yeah. What we have up next now is the Buck 110 Folder. If you guys aren't already aware, I'm a huge fan of Buck knives, and the Buck 110 is basically the knives of all knives. Every knife collector, every person really should have a Buck 110 in their collection, just because it's really the folding knife that created the folding knife, you know. But overall, this is a very beautiful knife. Comes with a very nice sheath here, of course, leather sheath with the Buck logo right there. And just to give you a kind of up close look to this blade. So as you can see, this one's still real shiny. I've gotten a decent amount of use out of it, but still haven't really broken it in like you've seen a couple other of my models. So yeah, once again, very, very good blade, the Buck 110 Folder. Up next, right here, as you can see, for most of you guys that recognize it, this is a Ka-Bar fighting / utility knife. This specific model is a Vietnam commemorative to the veterans that fought there. And I use this knife a lot, actually. I thought about just having it as a show-off piece, but considering it was decently expensive, I decided to actually use it. So, as you can see, the logo, the decal is kind of worn off a little bit, but overall this is still a fantastic blade. To give you this overview, so as you can see, it says honoring our veterans of the Vietnam War. So flip this over. And then of course it has the United States Marine Corps decal here on the sheath, and then on the blade itself right there. Overall, a very, very nice knife, and I highly suggest the Ka-Bar utility knives. It's just kind of your classic fixed blade knife. I know I wanted to throw at least one into this lineup. I do have several. I really like fixed blade knives, but they aren't just all practical to really carry, so I don't have too many, but definitely want to make sure this guy made it on the list. Up next here is a knife that I just recently had a review of. It's the Spyderco Tenacious. So I'll give you an up-close shot of this guy here. Flip it over. So yeah, this is Spyderco's part of their line of more affordable models. It's made in China, but don't let that fool you. It's a very nice knife. It definitely holds up to the Spyderco reputation. It's kind of not completely obvious, but it's made clear that they cut corners to keep the price of this guy down. But still, overall, a very amazing knife, and I would highly recommend it. My first Spyderco knife, and it holds up to their reputation great. The last one here on my lineup of knives is one of my very first kind of folding knives. Could have been my very first spring-assisted knife, definitely one of my first, but it is the Smith & Wesson Black Ops. To give you an up-close use of this guy, as you can see, he has had a lot of use gone through him. Really scratched up blade, beat up body. Flip it again. I really like this knife just because it holds its edge very well. It is a spring-assisted knife, which I just in general really enjoy. And then the lock here is very well designed. The handle is amazing. It fits great in my hands, it seems like. My only complaint is the flipper has stopped working. As you can see, if I were to shut it, flipper is not working, and I have no idea how to fix that. But it does still spring open, and will still lock very well. So yeah. So now to end the video off, I want to end it off with just a wild card. Just kind of this one thrown in there that just barely got beat out of the list. And so of course this knife here, it's going to be another buck knife. This is the Buck 721. Give you an up close view there. Stainless. There you go. And as you can see, this is another one of my knives that have seen some pretty high amounts of abuse and use. And buck knives are really one of my favorite companies, if not my, most favorite. I definitely hold them to a higher regard than most other companies, to where a lot of people seem to kind of overlook Buck. I've just fallen in love with their knives and their designs, and so yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Buck knives, the Buck 721. Holds up to their reputation, very, very sharp, and holds its edge amazingly. I've had some pretty serious use out of this guy, and keeps kicking.